So last week we gave you all an update on the upcoming Popeye the Slayer Man horror film. Well, guess what? Now we have a second one on its way. We also have a trailer to go along with it. In addition to this, we have our first trailer and look at the upcoming Slavic horror film Mudbrick. So let's get into it. Like we reported earlier this week as well, we talked about the upcoming exclusive images of gore and raunchy Popeye horror movie coming in early 2025. So these images might look familiar to you. We went through this article, we went through these images. Obviously he's carrying around a ship anchor. We see the size difference between him and whoever he's attacking his victim. And we saw these additional images with him on his boat. But this week, we got an update. We have a second Popeye horror film coming called Popeye the Slayer Man. Watch the Gory red band trailer for upcoming Popeye horror film. So we're going to get into these details and then we're going to take a look at this exclusive trailer. So Popeye the Slayer Man, a new horror feature exploring an alternate backstory for the legendary sailor, will be unleashed sometime next year. Bloody Disgusting has learned today. Watch the bloody trailer for public domain slasher Popeye the Slayer Man below. Here we go. This is actually one of two Popeye horror movies in the works. The other coming soon from ITN Studios, and that's the one we talked about earlier this week as well, when we got those first images. That's coming out in early 2025. That film is simply titled Popeye, and yes, it's an entirely separate project. So we are not, again, just getting one, but we are going to get two different versions, horror versions of this public domain character that many of us probably grew up with from the cartoon. We have seen a live-action classic of the character played by Robin Williams in the past, but again, these two projects are going to be completely different. We're going down the horror route. In Popeye the Slayer Man, a group of friends sneak into an abandoned spinach canning factory to film a documentary of the legend of the Sailor Man, who is said to haunt the factory. Quote, "We can't wait for audiences to get a load of this gory and scary version of Popeye," teases producer Jeff Miller. "We went old school and focused on using real practical effects and not relying on CG for the gore. We're talking with very enthusiastic and interested buyers now." So to touch on that, because again, as we get further down, we talks more about casting, talks more about who's playing who, and then we get down to the trailer, which we're going to take a look at here in a moment. But just to touch on this, I'm glad that, again, we're getting another horror film where there's not a huge reliance on CG. They are using practical effects. And I do think that does add a bit more when you think about horror films. Now, I know we've talked about with Terrifier. Terrifier also was a franchise and film that did use practical effects, but the director and creator did come out and say that they did and do use CG in order to provide a little bit more depth to, let's say, a wound, so to speak. So for like a stab wound or a gunshot wound, while it is practical effects that they use, they will use CGI to make it look a little bit deeper, clean it up slightly a bit, but overall still practical effects being used. So with that said, we are going to get right into this trailer review. So let's check it out.
What the hell is all this stuff for?
It's the equipment I checked out for my documentary.
Oh, is this that pirate man thing you were going on about in class?
Sailor Man. Tonight's the last night we can get inside.
They're, aware of the charming stories circulating about this place.
I don't believe in ghost stories.
He's not a ghost. The Sailor Man is real. He doesn't take kindly to visitors stopping at his doorstep.
If she's just doing some school project, then why won't she just pick the phone up?
Oh yeah? What should I do?
She said they're going to be at the old candy factory, right? Let's go down there.
Do you know where the factory closed down 20 years ago? There was a spinach contamination.
I am what I am.
All right, now if you ask me, yes, you can definitely tell they're using practical effects, and yes, you can get a definite idea of that this is a very independent, very looks a bit low budget film. However, I'm still glad we're getting it. I'm still looking forward to this film. They, as we see here in this image, is what we obviously saw this scene in that trailer. They're going for more of that classic Popeye look with the big forearms, the very, very pronounced chin and facial features. And if we go back to the images from the other film that's being done, you can see here, if we go back to the top, a very different look, especially around the facial features, especially the muscle. Completely different take on the Popeye character. So while they're using the same general character, we're gonna get two completely different look and feels for these two films. And again, I'm excited for them both. I'm excited to get these two more films on a public domain character that Disney used to have. Again, we've seen this time and time again with a lot of other characters that have been coming out, whether that was Pinocchio, Winnie the Pooh. We're getting Mouse of Horrors. We're getting The Little Mermaid. So I think the more and more that of these become available, I think we're going to see them. And again, while the trailer we just watched definitely looks very independent, a lot of other franchises started out the exact same way. Hence Terrifier, and look where they're at now. Terrifier just recently banked in over $80 million on a $2 million investment for their third film. Who knows? One of these could be a breakout. One of these could become a cult classic and then launch an entire franchise. So we are definitely going to keep an eye on this second Popeye film, and hopefully we will get a date soon for when it comes out, because we know the other one's going to be coming out in early 2025. This one's obviously coming out next year, but we don't have an exact month or date. So we will keep an eye on this one, and we'll let everyone know once we know more. So, all right, let's jump into our last topic, and that is Mudbrick exclusive trailer. Slavic folklore inspired this haunting horror movie. So let's get into the details before we check out the trailer. So, a sinister dance with Slavic folklore and Nikola Prejovic's horror movie Mudbrick is being released by Gravitas Ventures next month, and Blaze Discussing has the official trailer debut. Mudbrick comes home to digital and cable VOD outlets on December 13th, 2024. So we're roughly 3 weeks away before this one becomes available. Exclusively watch the official trailer for the folk horror movie below. In the haunting tale of Mudbrick, Paul's return to his Serbian roots unearths a broken down family home held hostage by secrets as he comforts his estranged brother. A chilling web of ruins, totems, and whispered names ensnares him in a sinister dance with Slavic folklore. Unraveling a past woman with dark rituals and tragic choices, Paul discovers that the decaying walls harbor not just memories, but a cynical curse. Faced with the malevolent god Velis and the consequences of a desperate pact, but he must navigate a treacherous path of familiar tragedies, chilling revelations, and a fiery reckoning that echoes through the ages. We have some of the people who are starring in it. So let's go. We have, I think, some posters down here too. So here's one of the posters right here. This is obviously the Mudbrick house that they're talking about. And I think that's it. Yeah, just that one. All right, so let's check out this trailer and let's see what we think about it.
So many years of this. Feels like forever. And always about you. The good son. I feel like I've been traveling forever. I need rest. Do you enjoy being fed? I like respect.
So what do we think of that? That looks pretty eerie. Not a lot given away based on what the trailer shows and based on the article. You can definitely already assume and figure out who the returning brother is and which one isn't. And that's still there, but also again a very sinister, very eerie feel. I think this one's gonna have quite a bit of jump scares. It's gonna have quite a bit of uncomfortable moments in it. So I am looking forward to this one. We get this one in roughly 3 weeks, so this is already on our list here at Reign of Horror to check out. Do a viewing, do a review, spoiler-free and spoiler review of this one. I think films like this, unfortunately, go under the radar, especially here in the U.S. if they're not primarily based here in the U.S. or they're not, with well-known actors or actresses. I think again, something like this falls under the radar, goes to POD, and ultimately then gets found at some point further down the line, gains a cult following, and then becomes something, then starts to blow up as far as on everyone's radar who's checking it out. So again, we got this one coming up in 3 weeks, so it's already on our list. We want to try and check this one out as soon as we possibly can, because this one is definitely looking good, right up our alley here at Reign of Horror. So all right, everyone, that's going to do it for today's episode. Again, just 2 quick stories, an update on the public domain character Popeye with the trailer going with it, and again, this new film that we're finding out here at Reign of Horror, Mudbrick, again, comes out in 3 weeks, so if you're able to check it out, otherwise we will be covering it here on the channel. So that's going to do it for today's episode. I just want to say thank you for spending just a few moments of your day here with us at Reign of Horror, as again we look at the Popeye character. We now have that second film coming out along with that first one, and again this one called Mudbrick that again flew under the radar. It's on our radar now. We'll be checking it out and doing a review on it. So again, hope you all have a great day, and we will see you at the next one. Peace.